The first state visit of a French president to the UK since 2008. A turning point in French-British relations? Welcome to Bridge the Channel. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bridge the Channel, brought to you by the Martenscentre. Westminster welcomed in all its pomp and ceremony the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, in what was the clearest sign that the relationship between the UK and the EU is on a new footing under the new Labour government. What does this visit mean for the future of the relationship as the two sides are facing multiple common crises? But also, what does it mean for British domestic politics? All of this in this episode. To understand the significance of this visit, we have to think about three interesting facts. It was the first official visit of a French president to the UK since 2008. It was the first official visit of a European leader to the UK since Brexit. And also, Emmanuel Macron managed to visit London before Donald Trump did in the American president's second term. All of this shows that Keir Starmer has actually managed to place the UK in a very interesting place in its foreign policy. You may remember from previous episodes that we were from the beginning very suspicious about the ability of Keir Starmer to square this diplomatic circle. Well, it turns out that Keir Starmer does actually manage to achieve quite a few of these goals. He keeps the UK central in all debates about the future of Ukraine. He has managed to keep the UK close to the US and Donald Trump. Let's remember that the UK has avoided the worst of the American president's tariffs until now. And now he also manages to bring the UK closer to France and the EU. In all these ways, and contrary to expectations, because obviously he's not a very charismatic leader, however, he's proving to be a very effective diplomat. In his foreign policy, Keir Starmer does manage to have his cake and eat it. Now, Trump, Ukraine, international crisis, geopolitics, all of this is great, but it doesn't really matter all that much for Keir Starmer's domestic agenda. We have to remember that when Emmanuel Macron visited London, Starmer was coming out from the worst 2 weeks of his prime ministership, and it's a general agreement here in the UK that the first year of the Labour government has been less than stellar. But what Keir Starmer really needed was a deal, something, on the single most important issue to UK voters when it comes to relations with France and the EU. Migration. France is a central player, a very important player, in one issue that features at the top of British voters' concerns, the so-called small boats crisis, the flow of migrants from France into the UK through the English Channel. And Keir Starmer managed to get this as well. The two sides signed a so-called migration agreement. The verdict is still out on how important and far-reaching that agreement is, yet still Keir Starmer was able to show that having Macron over delivered also on the front of migration. So that was another episode of Bridge the Channel, our final episode before the summer break, coming to you from a London with glorious weather, although less than glorious context of both domestic politics and of course an endless succession of international crises. There's loads of things to look forward to. Most importantly, a visit by a certain Donald Trump sometime after the summer in the UK, which is definitely going to produce some news, as the American president is probably going to try to outdo Emmanuel Macron in his presence here in the UK. And of course, so many other issues where, as we have said before, the UK remains a central player. Until next time, take care and enjoy your summer.